Hi everyone, we are live. Let me check if I can get you on my other computer as well, and hopefully everything will be good. So I see a lot of familiar names already. This is great. Oh wow, so many of you already. Hi everyone from all over the continents, obviously. Again, this is great. Look, today it's a little strange to start a live when my kitty just got sick, so I'm a little worried about her. So if you see me um, maybe a little more worried than usual, it's just because she's not well, and it worries me. So, but it's Saturday and it's noon, and there's obviously not much that's gonna stop us from drawing, right? My goodness, it's really great to see that a lot of you are here for our live at noon as usual. I think this is the 21st now, if you can believe it, the 21st that we've done since March 17 or 21st. Now I have to remember exactly. Okay, so listen, I chose a muse. There he is, Avery Gannon from Sketchy. And the reason why I chose this particular photo is because the hair was going to present a really interesting challenge. I absolutely love that. And of course, the shadows on the face. And hi, Rick. Okay, cool. Um, so it's going to be a really interesting, set of hair to create with just pencil, because I decided to go with pencil today. And by pencil, I mean you guys are probably familiar with the pits, by Faber-Castell. I don't know if you can really see just from looking at it here. It's just basically a stick of graphite with a little bit of plastic around it, but there's no wood around the graphite, so you've got a maximum amount of it, and that's really cool. So I have an HB here, which is going to lay our foundations, da 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 da. And we have a 6B. So HB and 6B, I'm limiting myself to these two things. By Faber-Castell, Pit Graphites, they're called. If you don't have them, definitely try to get your hands on some. They're really just, they're great. And obviously I use them quite a bit because now they're just a little shorter than they were. So, I see you guys asking about that reference photo. Let me see. We don't have it here. You know what, guys? If you don't have it, oh yeah, it says to be announced. Let me see if I can grab it. Hold on. What would be a good way for me to grab it so I could put it here? Give me a second. I will. You know what? I'll put it in the comment section, okay? So my reference photo is, yeah, we can't work without that, right? Okay, let's see. I'm on Sketchy right now, getting to it. There it is. I am copying the link, and from here I should send it to an email so it gets to my Chromebook. This is not very complicated, but it's doable. Uh-huh. Boom. Link. Okay, and now I will have it and post it on the comments section. Okay, give me just a second to do this. This is not a problem at all. It's copying more than I want, of course, because I'm on Chrome OS, and this is definitely not my comfort zone. Okay, so look in the comment section, guys. I am pasting the link to the sketchy photo. But yes, you may not be able to grab it from the comments. Do you see it? Hi, Sketchy. Oh, thank you, Sketchy, for posting the reference photo. Great. All right, so I guess it's fixed. I also put it in the comment section for you guys, but hopefully you guys get it like this. All right. So as I said before, we're going to do this in two types of graphite. We're going to use HB and 6B, okay? And I'm using these graphite pit by Faber-Castell. They're absolutely amazing. They're just pure graphite, and I love them. What I did last night, as sometimes I do this, I try to warm up a little bit to kind of to rehearse a drawing. It happens sometimes. I feel the need to do that. And because I've been experimenting more and more with charcoal, because I want to learn, I really want to conquer charcoal. I actually did this particular drawing in charcoal last night. So if you visit my story on Instagram, you'll see it. So I did it, and I really liked all the textures that I was able to achieve with charcoal. I don't consider myself, um, you know, on top of charcoal enough to sit here in front of you and say, well, now look, we're going to learn charcoal, this is how it works. I'm still in the process of wrapping my brains around it and how to use it right. As you know, I'm not an academic person when it comes to drawing. I never learned, so I'm kind of figuring things out myself. And yeah, once I feel like conquer and master charcoal, I think we should do a charcoal one. So, all right. Um, yeah, definitely get your hands on these graphite pencils. So I'm going to now switch the view so that we can see what's actually interesting. Okay. And it looks as though I'm not going to have a tremendous amount of space because I'm using my moleskin. It's a large moleskin, but it's not gigantic. Um, okay, Margaret, you're here. I'm so glad that you can make it, even though you are on a totally different time zone, like so many of you, by the way. So thank you for being here. All right, it's 12:08, maybe something like this, 12:07, and I'm about to start. So last night when I started it, I didn't do too much of a, like construction or anything like that, but today I feel the need to kind of place, I need to be actually situated right. So all I'm going to do here is just draw a quick line for the side of the face, knowing that the nose is going to stick out, the mouth is going to stick out, and sort of establish that this is where I want the face to be, okay? Because if I don't establish that, it's going to grow in all kinds of directions, and really I don't want to do that. So what I'm doing right now is putting the ear where I think it belongs, right? Okay. Thank you, Jenny. So you saw it? You saw the warm-up sketch? Yeah. Funny enough that the warm-up sketch usually is what ends up being the happy thing, because we don't feel any pressure. We feel like, oh, I'm just going to warm up. And then it ends up being something that I actually really liked last night. But again, not to the point that I would feel, at ease enough with charcoal to actually say, hey, look, guys, I'm going to show you how charcoal works. I'm not at that stage yet, I don't think. All right. And keep in mind that when you join me on Saturdays like this, I always encourage you to draw in any medium that you prefer, okay? Like I'm obviously doing this in pencil myself, or chalk, graphite, I should say, because there's no, as you can see, there's no wood here. It's pure graphite. That's why they're called pure. But feel free to use anything that you want. All right. So if you look at the tip, the top of the ear here, and you drew like a kind of a straightish horizontal line, without shaking, please. That's better. Jesus. I was really shaking here for a second. You will find that this is where more or less his eyebrow starts. So we're going to put it here, and the second eyebrow is going to go into the hair above that line of the ear here. And keep in mind, right now I'm only in HB, okay? I'm just going broad strokes, trying to keep track of my proportions. Also, if you draw a line under the ear by about, a tiny bit below the ear, this is where the nose should land, the tip of the nose, So I'm going to try to make that happen. A quick tip about faces, guys, is that noses always are shorter than we think when we draw them. We tend to elongate a face by making the nose longer than it should be, and then we end up with surprises. So, yeah. Right, Teresa, I totally agree with you that when we don't have the idea of the end in mind, we just monkey around on a piece of paper. Things end up being a lot more enjoyable. And I'm not saying that what I'm doing right now is not enjoyable, because it totally is. Plus, I feel more at home with graphite than clearly I will ever do with charcoal. But I'm also here to learn, and I do want to conquer this charcoal thing. I do. Problem is, I don't quite know how, but it's okay. That's all right. Oh, by the way, for an eraser, I'm just going to go with a school pencil, right? And just use the back eraser here to get rid of any excess HB that I have. Like, for example, these lines, right, that I just did, these construction lines. I'm going to try to get rid of them as much as possible. All right. So let's see what kind of promo we're running at Sketchy right now. What do we have? Oh, we have 20% off, guys. Just so you know, it's right underneath this video. 20% off with code CROSSHATCHING. You can get 20% off if you buy 2 or more classes. And there you go. Okay. Karen Moore, you're asking me, what is the best way to sharpen a graphite pencil? Like this? Oh my gosh, just pencil sharpener. I have an electric one right here on my desk. Kind of like the school ones. I bought one at some office furniture store, and it makes this kind of sharpening. I really like it because it exposes a lot of lead. So yeah, so absolutely regular pencil sharpener will do. And plus, these electric pencil sharpeners, they love a good graphite like that because it actually lubricates the little metal pieces in there. They are really meant to work with graphite. That's why if you only have colored pencils and you use your pencil sharpener constantly with just colored pencils, it's gonna start gripping and feeling a little less than healthy to say the least. So keep that in mind. They love graphite. All right, so on to the mouth, you guys. Yep, I think it's just about right. Am I getting my proportions right? I hope so. Keep in mind that since I'm in HB, I'm feeling, definitely more able to go back and make adjustments, whatever. Okay, but I think I've got my proportions somewhat right. Maybe I'm going to push this ear. Maybe the ear will have to go a little further east. We'll see. We'll see how that goes in a few minutes. I'm also using this really great eraser that I clean every time I start a drawing. I clean it up a little bit. It's an eraser from the store Muji. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Muji. I absolutely love that store, and it's a great little eraser. Nothing too technical. As you know, I don't have an art store anywhere near. Here. Also, just to give you an idea of how insanely hectic my week was, I am trying to buy a house, and so I just started the week-long process of doing just that, which is obviously a learning curve. But yep, buying a house. I just made an offer. Offer got accepted, and we're moving right ahead, and hopefully it'll be seamless. I don't know, painless. But it's a big deal because it's the first time I've bought a house all by myself, like a big girl. So, yep. The stress, though. Oh. Okay, I am putting his eye here, and if the corner of the eyebrow is here, the eye is going to be in by a bit, but not by much. Let's see if we can make it look good by putting it here. Okay. Yeah, new house, yeah. Thank you. Apparently, it is a great time to buy. I mean, obviously, interest rates are absolutely insane, so it seemed like the right thing to do. But really, time will tell. There's some serious adulting going on, though. Okay, seamless, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. All right, maybe I'm pushing this nose a little too far towards the front. Let's see if I can rein it in a tiny little bit. I don't know. Okay, did you notice that I'm not even close to tackling the hair? Um, but that's going to be the fun part, promise. It is. Oh, and Sheila, you saw the car drawing. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I absolutely love drawing cars. If you told me, well, from now on you're only going to draw cars, I would be perfectly fine with that. Yeah, I love that. I grew up in the town of Sochaux in France, where Peugeot cars are built, and they're just, you can't avoid the car factory. The plant is right there in town, and the apartment where I grew up was steps away from there, and I just grew up seeing all these cars, factory workers leaving the factory, just really a blue-collar town with a lot of cars. Okay, am I getting it right? We'll find out. Okay. There's going to be a little bit of facial hair here, which we love drawing. I do. Just anticipate hiccups. You're absolutely right, Anthony, about the hiccups. Yeah, I will definitely try to be as prepared as possible for all the hurdles along the way from buying a house. It's an older house, so it's true that anything can happen. Also, I love drawing ears. They're great fun. So I've done most right now in HB, you've probably noticed. But what I can do, and I'm going to use a piece of paper. Oh, here's what I'm going to use, guys. I'm going to use the paper that I used last night to draw on. This is the version that I did with charcoal. It's pretty rough. But that piece of paper will be what I'm gonna... Oh, no, I don't want a phone call right now. Okay. No, no, like I guess my family doesn't know that I'm doing this. They actually don't. Absolutely not aware that at 12 on Saturdays I'm I'm busy, which is what, 6 p.m. in France, 6:20 p.m. right now. So, okay, so here's what I just did. I was just using a piece of paper to try to find that wide, um, that wide side there, and that's what I'm going to use um, to sort of do a layer of value. Not anything too dark, but I just want to have a layer to work from, like here, and not go crazy. Just a little. Okay, Cynthia. Yes, thank you, Cynthia. I agree. Oh my gosh, calling again? Nope, my family does not know that I do these things. So they call. They think I'm available. Okay. So you see what I'm doing here with the side of my graphite. I am just establishing a little bit of a layer, okay? And that helps me sort of set the tone for what kind of dark I want later when I come back with my 6B. There's a little bit of mustache. The corner of the mouth is an important spot too. Okay. Yeah, of course. I'm really enjoying this, but I cannot wait to get into hair right now. This is all well and good, but really hair is what I'm looking forward to doing. Can't wait to grab that 6B and getting into the best part. So there. Again, kind of establishing where some of the darker spots are, but not too dark, because I'm in HB, so I'm kind of limited in how dark I can make them anyway. Okay. Not sure I'm a big fan of how I'm doing this eye here, but maybe I can work on it a little later. Let me see. What am I doing? Okay, we'll see. And then with 6B, I'll come back and add and really darken the darker spots. Like, for example, underneath his jaw where the facial hair is. Oh, yeah, I can show the sketch again. This is what I did last night with charcoal. You see how the hair in charcoal is really insane. I really like that. But again, as I said before, I don't feel proficient enough yet. I don't feel like I have really mastered this medium of charcoal. to really say, hey guys, I'm going to show you how it works, or, you know, I really don't feel like I'm in any kind of authority. Okay. Okay. All right, so now let's go. Okay, Pam Lopez, you're asking what pencils I'm using. These are Pit Graphite, pure. They're called pure because there is absolutely no uh, wood involved, and this is by Faber-Castell. So now I'm grabbing my 6B, guys. I'm going in, okay? And with the 6B, suddenly now I am really doing the drawing that I intend to do. So the hair is going to start right away. And in order to do that hair without wasting any time, just as I did with the charcoal last night, I was really actually surprised that the charcoal let me do that. I'm just using the side and getting a really broad stroke out of my pencil by doing that, you see? And not everything is going to be filled in here because there's a lot of shine in the hair, and the shine is going to be conveyed by not drawing, basically. Okay? Yeah. And I'm going 6B because I really want to achieve a nice dark, you know? Okay, let's see here. Right now I'm just mapping hair so that I don't lose track of its shape, because otherwise I'm going to be lost in the details and I will completely lose track of, you know, the dimensions. So, and proportions. So this is where I am right now. I'm just trying to have the right amount to make it look realistic. Okay. Alright, ¿qué tal? Manolomeo, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué onda? Alright, I think the hair goes up here. Let me see, and then it kind of rounds towards here. But still, we keep this texture, okay? We really want to convey these curls that pick up light because they're shiny. So I want to do that well. And then I'm going to jump now to right atop the ear, where things are really the darkest, and really emphasize that dark, okay? Ta-da! So you see there are areas like where I am right now where it's so dark that really we don't have any information about the actual you know, curl or volume. So that saves us time. I can just fill that in. It's not going to hurt the overall volume of the drawing. Nope. With your permission though, we are 30 minutes in, and I'm going to quickly stand and check on my kitty very quickly because she was sick. I'll be right back. Oh good. Oh good, good, good. She is sleeping. Okay. I don't want to disturb her because if she's sleeping it means that she finally found sleep. And that is a beautiful thing because she could not for the longest time. Okay. Jenny, you are using the 6B compressed brush? Yes. All right. Oh, yeah, I need to move my drawing. You're absolutely right, Melody. Thank you, thank you. I didn't realize that I was so off camera, but I'm going to do something probably a little better than that. I'm going to lift up my camera so that the drawing is a little further, right? Are we good like this? It's a little further, but at least, let me see if it can focus. Yeah, you have maybe a more general view, okay? All right. All right, I hope that's better. Thank you for pointing that out. I tend to really lose track of what it looks like on the screen for you guys. Because I'm drawing in a sketchbook, I don't really have a hard surface underneath this page. And that can be a real source of frustration because in order to achieve the dark that I want, I really have to put a lot of pressure on my graphite here. All right. So what I'm doing right now with this hair is I'm starting with what I see as being the darker areas, you know, like the underneath of the hair, and just making those as dark as possible because that kind of gives me the benchmark, right, for how dark I can get. Okay. Yeah, apparently the kitty is sleeping. So I really hope she is okay too. The fact that she found sleep makes me feel a lot better. Because she couldn't for the longest time this morning. I don't know if you guys follow the comedian Mark Maron, but he just lost his cat this week. It's amazing how sad it made me, even though I've never met the person and I've never certainly met the cat, but it's just, you know. So you see, all I'm doing now is use the side of my graphite and try to achieve dark, broad strokes. And really kind of, you know, going a little haphazardly on the, you know, the gesture here to convey the curls. So it's not, you know, an exact science, needless to say. I'm just trying to convey this light, this shine that I have in the hair by leaving out some areas of light, okay, you see? Oh, thank you, Uta. Yes, uh, my hand moves like a printer. I know exactly what you mean. It's weird to watch, probably, right? It's just the way I'm moving it on the paper right now. I'm just a little bit robotic, I guess. You're absolutely right. I can't deny that. But that particular gesture is really going to make the hair look shiny and a little bit realistic. You'll see it. Right now, of course, it means nothing, and you're probably looking at this like, okay, it's a complete mess, and it is, but it will come together as hair. I've done this, you know, hundreds of times. curly hair is so much more interesting to draw than straight hair. Oh my gosh. This is where the fun is, right here, doing these things, you know. And I'm noticing that my gesture is not exactly the same as what I was doing with charcoal last night, but we're pretty darn close. And then as I achieve this darkness in the hair, I'm going to come back to the face and match, um, so that the face is not just this light, you know, ghostly thing compared to the very stark contrast in the hair. We need to be careful to match one with the other, right? I'm just alternating between pressing and not pressing. The key also to make hair somewhat realistic, on the edges, look very closely how the hair behaves. It's got little, extremely little strands like this, you see? So you want to grab your tip now to make these tiny little bits stick out. Yeah. Oh, Cynthia, you're using 9B. Believe it or not, this is what I was aiming for this morning when I was choosing what to draw with. And I couldn't get my hands on the 9B, and I saw the 6B, and I thought, okay, this will do. But yeah, ideally, I would have also grabbed the 9B. I have a 9B of these too, which I love. Oh, I love the dark that you can achieve with a 9B. I mean, it's close to charcoal, yeah. Okay. You see how there's a sort of volume that is starting to appear? It's real. Okay. Juicy and dark. Cynthia, those are pretty good words to describe how a really dark graphite feels on the right piece of paper, you know? Oh, can you tell that I'm at the meditative spot now? And this is why I am saying a lot less. Unless, of course, you guys have questions, in which case I'll be totally happy to, you know, to break the silence and answer anything you might have about what we're doing right now. Just realized just by looking at the time that maybe I need to speed things up a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. keep in mind that drawing hair here is not an exact, you know, like hair for hair kind of thing. But look at roughly where the dark, you know, under the hair, the dark values are, and go with that. Okay, and behind the ear, let me go back to HB very quickly so that I don't go too dark. But this is where the back of the neck is, and then there's a phone here. Look, a smartphone right there. Because it is most likely a bathroom selfie. So there's our phone. I'm really neglecting to draw the hands at this point, but what I don't want is for the line of this phone to be too prominent, you know. So I'm just suggesting it like this. Let me see which one is which. 8B. Here we go. Oh, you know what? No. Let's go all 6B at this point. It's safe. There are some really interesting shadows in this drawing. Look at this one, for example, underneath and behind the ear. It's so cool. Right there, there's a dark spot. Okay, so right now it looks a little blah maybe, but bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the hair. Okay. Good. Thank you, guys. And how are you doing, everybody? Good. I know, Jenny, you are using your iPad. Um, is anybody using pen today by any chance? I don't know that I would have had the time. I would certainly not have had the time to venture into, a full set of hair with pen. That would have taken far too long to complete live. See, I'm already wondering if I'm going to be able to get to the end of this even with a pencil, which is usually much faster for me because you can really cover ground much more quickly. But I'm wondering if some of you are using pen. Ute, are you using a fountain pen by any chance? See, I wonder about these things as I'm drawing. These questions haunt me, guys. I need to find out. I really love taking, more or less the pulse of what you guys are doing as I'm doing it, because it keeps me a little bit connected to you. Even though you're all so far away, most of you, although I saw somebody was from New Jersey here. So you see what I'm trying to achieve here is light coming from above, casting some interesting shadows, and making this hair shine, you know? So it will be a little lighter at the top, but don't make it too fuzzy because it's hair. So hair has, like, single hair showing like this. See, so use a little bit of that sharpened tip. Okay, let me see what you guys are doing. Yes, Ute, I think of you all drawing, of course. Okay, what is the size of the head here? I would say 15 centimeters, perhaps. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you have a Lamy, Ute. Sweet. And yes, Anthony Harrisburg is not too far from me. Yeah, you have to make it look like hair at the edges, because this is where, this is where it looks like hair. The rest can stay as fuzzy as you want. You don't have to go into the detail, but the edge can't lie, right? So if you notice the light coming from above ish makes the hair a little lighter at the top and darker underneath. So keep that in mind as as you go into those edges up there, okay? Always keep in mind where your light source is. To me, that's as important as shape. Volume, light, all that stuff works together. And again, bringing a little bit of hair on the edges. I don't want this to be a caricature, but you kind of want to, we're not doing something cartoony here, we're doing something somewhat realistic. So. Okay. This could almost work. I'm really just literally trembling, shaking in order to make that hair look real. I love curly hair so much. It's such a nice challenge. And again at the top, very lightly add on the edges of the hair just a little bit of texture. Don't go crazy, you want this to look real. Okay. I like this a lot. I really like hair when it's curly. All right, let's work on the actual features that stayed very light up until this point, but now I am going to kind of go to town and convey what they're actually like. So right now it's still very approximate. And the white of the eye is rarely white. You guys know this, right? By now. Okay, yeah. Oops. No, barely. It's fine. So now still using the side of this graphite, right? I am filling in some information here. It's dark. Right here, for instance, the kind of dark that we have in the nostril, is pretty much equivalent to what I have here. So that's what I want to convey. Okay. Oh, Christine, you're watching on the phone and drawing on the iPad. Cool. Love that. Keep in mind, guys, that if you want to pick up 2 classes at Sketchy, you get 20% off with the code crosshatching these days. Alright, let's get into this mustache a little bit. And also there's a cheek here in the back. Don't forget that. Okay, I need something to rest my hand on so that I don't smear everything I'm doing. Yeah. So I am not drawing where I see highlights, you see. Like here and here. Okay, where is that cheekbone? Like here, let me see. It's 1 o'clock, just about. I'm gonna keep drawing for a while. If you guys want to go and, go on with your day, I am going to be continuing maybe for another 10 minutes tops, okay? And just try to get a sense of uh, completion at least, so that I have something to post at Sketchy Art School. And by the way, talking of which, please post what you're doing right now, or what you're going to do if you didn't draw, synchronously with us. Just post at Sketchy Art School whenever you're ready. Okay? Alright, reverting to HB here just to make this a little lighter. These little lines that I'm making right now are basically to emphasize the areas that I see as being, darker, but doing it with more control than just the side of my pencil. So where it's dark now, I'm going with my 6B. You see, creating a starker shadow. Okay, we have this mustache too. Alright, how's everybody doing, okay? I totally get it. If some of you need to go, I'm gonna be here for a tiny bit longer. And just try to Yeah, try to complete this a little more. Still holding on to my 6B. There was absolutely no need to sharpen anything since sharpening it before I started today, because this lead is just perfect for broad strokes, and no need to sharpen there. Okay, now we have another dark area which is underneath the jaw, the jawline with the facial hair. I really don't want to mess that up. So again, going dark. Also pay attention that while we're drawing a cheek here, it's not a flat surface, right? And so it can't be drawn just flat. I'm gonna have some volume to convey here. That's what I'm about to do right now. It looks much lighter on the video, I notice, than it does on my screen. Okay. Melody, you just ordered a graphite holder. I think that's great. I use those a lot. And for me, there is really very little difference between that and using just regular graphite like what I'm holding. The only thing about, you know, a graphite holder or a mechanical pencil is they're amazing for thin lines because you barely have to sharpen them, but you cannot do basically what we're doing when we use the side of the pencil like this. You can't do that with a mechanical pencil. It won't, it won't allow you to achieve that broad edge. So that's the only thing I would say about that. But other than that, the quality of the lead and everything else is absolutely great in any of those the lead holders, graphite holders. Yeah, go for them. They're great. Remember, I really don't believe in expensive or fancy materials, of course, unless I draw on my iPad, in which case, I will definitely recommend to go tech. But other than that, anything cheapo is going to work very well. Like this kind of pencil is absolutely great. Any number 2 pencil, which is HB by the way, can, you know, they do the job right. Doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's the hand that holds them that matters, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you. Jackie, is it wrong to use blending sticks? Absolutely not. No, it's not wrong. But I do like a sketchy look using graphite. I think what I'm finding out, Jackie, is that blending sticks are definitely the tool for charcoal, because obviously it seems to me as though you cannot really use charcoal without them. Maybe I'm wrong here, I'm still figuring this out, but I know that from, drawing enough with charcoal now, that blending sticks have come in really handy, and they seem to be an integral part of the process. But when it comes to graphite, like what we're using right now, I would say that no, they're not necessary, but they're absolutely not forbidden either. Like I would never say, oh, don't use blending sticks. I don't use them because I don't like a polished look on a graphite drawing like this, right? I like having more of a sketchiness showing, meaning, where my lines actually show, like this. But no, absolutely use whatever feels like what you're creating is close to the vision that you had. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's what you want to achieve. And if you do that with blending sticks, then you need to do that with blending sticks. I know that for me, I really do need to see the strokes. Like I need to get that. I need to get the feel of the hand, on paper. I need to retain that. There's something very clean about the blending that's achieved with a blending stick, or a tortillon, we call them in French, right? But for me, they're not necessary, but they're certainly not forbidden, my goodness. Okay, we are getting close to finishing. I'm just going to be extremely quick for the area right there in the neck, so the neck is going to probably suffer from sketchiness a little bit. Okay. I know that I've been told before that I draw a lot of men rather than women. I find their features to lend themselves more to the rough kind of sketchiness that I like doing, which is, like facial hair, beards, all that stuff really is it's hard to find on a woman portrait. Okay, all right, so as I said, I'm just quickly going to convey a little bit of dark right underneath his jaw and his neck. But just so that, that light looks realistic. And then I'll sign off, okay? I'm not going to hold you guys up. Those of you who are still here, thank you for still being here, by the way. Yay. Oh, and what you're saying about blending sticks is very true. They tend to flatten things. That is what they do. And when you want to be able to convey, like the curve on a cheek, on a face, on anything for that matter, it becomes a challenge because they make things look absolutely flat. And that's why, for example, in charcoal, yeah, using them is great to establish that first layer, but then you come back with dark and add. Okay. So right, so we have hair, we've got volume, right? I think the hair can go all the way to the edge here because I barely left enough space for it. Okay. All right, so guys, I'm very close to, if not finishing, calling it done. And posting it on Sketchy Art School. You guys know that if you come to Sketchy Art School, SAS, there's a free group called Drawing with France, and you can join. And when you join, you can post your things. You can participate in, the questions, the discussions. You can send me direct messages if you feel like it. But most importantly, sharing your work and seeing other people's work. That's the fun, right? Okay, I think that I am going to stop here for now and call it just about done. Of course, I can monkey even more with pretty much everything, but I could be there for another half hour otherwise. Yeah, I think this is it for today. I don't know if you guys can see it okay. Did it get a little out of focus? Maybe. Okay. All right, everybody. Let me try to get this a little close to it. Sorry about messing up the view, but you can see it here a little bit better, maybe? You see all the little marks? And the hair. Oh my gosh, the hair. What you can do also, if you want, is to be... And this is, of course, what I would be tempted to do in that half hour if I had it, is to add a little bit of cross-hatching in the hair to make it consistent with the face. I don't think it's mandatory, but yeah, so there it is. All right, so thank you guys. It's almost 1:20, 13:20. Bye, everybody. I'm so glad that you were here today with us. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to check on my kitty and hope that she's okay. And thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll see you again next week, which should be the 15th. And I don't know, maybe it's going to be a Procreate one next week. What do you say? Yeah? Everyone, thanks for being here. Let's go to Sketchy Art School. Let's post our work and let's see what we've done. All right? Okay. Besos, abrazos, everyone. I'm signing off. Bye.